The Bible Bros, we are back with a second episode, and man, Dalton, I don't know. I feel like episode 1 went really, really well.
It sure seems like it.
It sure seems like it.
Yeah, it got a lot of people's attention.
It did. And I mean, like a lot of friends, a lot of people have been reaching out, like, what is this? What are you guys doing? Like, why are you guys doing this? And you know, I mean, are you getting the same thing from people?
Not from people I knew. I mean, I've told them that I was going to start this anyway. So
Yeah.
And a lot of them give me, the good feedback.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. And like, obviously we share this on episode 1, but you and I do weekly Bible studies. We've been diving into a lot of things, and we just finished the book of Job, which it's crazy because I've read Job a million times. Well, not a million, but I've read Job a ton of times. And this time going back through it and this Bible in a year thing, I don't know. I feel like when you have another person to sit down with, and that's why one of the reasons why we're doing this show, to talk through what you're reading, you look at it a lot differently, right? Like it comes alive in a different way when you can kind of like process it with somebody else rather than just sort of reading through and moving on.
Yeah. I was telling you this, like, I can read the New Testament, not perfectly great, but I can read it pretty fine and understand it for the most part. But we did say the Old Testament, there's here and there things that I can grab by myself, but definitely rereading it with somebody in there to stop and just go back and forth, especially in this study Bible that I have that has like all the real detailed notes of like what this certain word means, or whether that is Greek or Hebrew or whatever. And so many things I've missed, and I feel like that's kind of why I told you this too, that I really just neglected the Old Testament. And but it's good to get in there. There's so many. Well, I'm a history nerd, so I always loved the stuff, but actually get into the weeds of it, of the not so flashy stuff in the Old Testament.
It's tough.
It's really
like
important.
You've got those,
it's hard.
Like, lineage, the names, the details
that no one can pronounce.
We were reading today about Abraham, and there was a list of leaders in cities and countries, and I swear it was like 25 seconds of me being like blah blah blah, like trying to read through this list. But then you appreciate it because you're like, okay, there's detail here, and there's a reason for detail, because those details do matter. And when it came to the Old Testament, I didn't think about that before. I would just be kind of like, this is hard to read, and I would avoid it. I would bet a lot of people listening or watching this show avoid even actively right now the Old Testament because it's complicated and because of those details.
Yeah, I mean, usually when I've seen a lineage and it takes up it seems like 2 chapters or a page and a half or something like that, I'm like, I don't know if I really need to know everybody's name. Now, the lineage of Jesus is pretty important. Yeah. But it's like, really? I mean,
yeah. Well, okay. And then today we were doing the Bible in a year, right? We're doing the Bible recap. We're going through that, and we were doing a devotional together. We were doing a Bible study together. And as we were reading through, the details you just don't catch, like this detail. And we're not going to talk as much about Abraham. I mean, maybe we will, who knows? Today we're going to talk about Job, but like Abraham, when God comes to him, and this just like blew my mind. And a lot of other people are going to be like, yeah, duh, we've read this a million times, we know. But some people might not realize it. When God comes to him and he's like, hey, you're going to have, a baby, like there's going to be a baby who comes through your lineage, and you're not going to be barren forever. It says that there were 3 men who appeared when God appeared, like 3 men. And it's like, well, who are those 3 men? And here you are, like way before Jesus in the Old Testament. And those 3 men are, I believe, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Like the Trinity was there already meeting with Abraham, which is wild. And that's why the Old Testament, I mean, that's one reason why it's so important to understanding. You can't really, I thought I could read the New Testament, understand everything I need to know, and move on. But you can't understand the New Testament without the Old Testament. Honestly, you really can't.
I feel like not the whole thing, no, but I feel like there's some things that you can, but in the grand scheme of things, not really.
Not the whole story.
I mean, you could get you can get a surface knowledge of what it's talking about in the New Testament, but once you get into the Old and start, bouncing back and forth, it's you definitely get a deeper understanding.
Well, like where Jesus shows up, right? Like this fact that the Messiah was promised for all this time, right? And that you start seeing Jesus show up in the Old Testament again and again and again is kind of wild. And even that the three men thing, I was like, wow, like this is crazy that in Genesis, and it was somewhere between Genesis 12 and 18, somewhere in that range, I think probably
Mhm.
16, 17, where that
Yeah.
happens. And so maybe we'll come back to that in a couple of weeks. But one area that we spent like the last week and a half has been Job. And Job is such a wild story because it's all about suffering, right? And it's all about struggle. And I mean, I don't know. Like for me, walking away from that, I was convicted in a lot of ways walking away from Job. And then also, I thought, man, human beings have not changed at all. Like we have not changed at all. We do the same things when tough things happen to us, but nothing's changed.
Yeah. Yeah, not really. Yeah, his story, I had a deeper appreciation of that story because I told you when we started it, I really have only read the first couple chapters, like after the events of his downfall, so to speak, and then kind of the last couple when God asked him like 80 something questions. That's really the only thing I've dove into. Not really the parts of where his friends were just telling him that he's needs to repent when they have no idea what even like happened. Like
They're
they have
basically
no
like, you're
context.
garbage, you're awful, you're garbage, you're
They're like,
awful.
all this happened to you because of a sin. I can't remember, but maybe a sin that you committed or a sin that's maybe from your parents or something, how they used to believe, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, him holding his tongue a lot, and I mean, most people nowadays, if they were to get hit with that from their friends, they couldn't do what Job did
No, I mean,
at all.
no, not in the snowflake. I mean, people would freak out. They'd be like, what do you
Yeah,
mean? What are you saying to me? Yeah. I
yeah, they
mean,
would just get aggressive, like, and it would get me like that. I would get super defensive, and it's not that I don't think Job did. If I feel like he, looking back into it, he definitely got that defensive posture, but he's not lashing out and getting angry,
yeah.
um, trying to fight him.
Even, I mean, even his wife. So I have the list of things, right? He loses his children. I think all 10 of his
Yeah,
kids. He loses his wealth, which back then, like the servants, the livestock, the possessions, his health, he gets like these painful sores all over his body. Like I'm
yeah,
upset when Starbucks doesn't heat up my coffee well enough. And like this guy's lost everything. He's got like, and then the thing with his reputation, his friends are accusing him of sin, like we're talking about. His wife is like questioning him and saying, what he said, curse God and die, or I forget what she
yeah,
said, like, so nobody, literally nobody is rallying around this guy. And it's so relatable because we all go through stuff. I mean, I think this is an extreme. Like he's lost everything. But when we go through stuff, it is so easy. And I feel like, I mean, obviously he is looking at God and being like, what the heck, God? Like, why did you allow this? Why are you doing this? He's asking questions of God. And I love that God is silent in this story
yeah.
until way deep into it. Like God is watching this. Gosh, there's so many things I want to say. And not only is God watching it, like, do you think Job has any idea that it's Satan who is orchestrating this? That God has allowed this, but it's Satan.
It didn't seem like it because everything he was saying was, we had a talk about that. That everything he was saying, he never once like attributed it to Satan. He had no like it seemed like he had no clue or even any kind of previous interaction or thought that Satan existed, which I thought was wild, but it would kind of make sense in a way when you look at because it's the Bible, with it being chronologically in order. That was like the oldest story in the Bible. So like obviously Satan was active in the garden and things like that, but I don't know if he really took a um I don't know the word, but like I don't know if he really took the world by storm yet and has turned everything
Yeah.
wicked or not. And that's maybe why Job's thinking that because he hasn't had an interaction with the devil to
Maybe they don't even
blame.
know. Like maybe
So I'm
they don't
saying
even, yeah. Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. He don't know. I feel like that's how it is because he had never had anything happen to him in the past. Everything was perfectly fine, and he's
Yeah.
only talked to God. He's never spoke with the devil.
Yeah.
At least that's how the story goes, and he can't blame the devil 'cause it doesn't seem like he knows who he is, and I could be totally wrong, I'm not saying I'm right. So if
But
people hear
he's
this, don't
he's
say that I'm
attributing it to God. He keeps saying,
Huh?
like, it's all about
Yeah.
God and not,
Yeah, he
like
thinks he's got
yeah.
no context of why anything's happening. It just
His friends
happens.
too, though, right? His friends are like, "You sinned, you did something terrible, and that's why
Yeah,
this is
that.
happening." Right? I
Yeah,
mean,
that, but, like, when it first happened, before his friends came on the scene, he was like, what is this? Like, where's this coming from?"
yeah. There's
He's got
this
no clue. There's nothing behind it.
yeah. I mean, and there's this line that's in front of me right now. I'm just gonna read it. It's like, it's not about the book is misunderstood by a lot of people, the book of Job, right? It says it's not about why bad things happen, it's about who God is when they do. And that is so convicting because it's like when bad things happen, it is true. Like, I don't know if you've done this. I know I have, like, okay, God, why are you allowing this? Why did you do this? Why? And it's like we can't get out of our own, and especially for this is for men and women, we can't get out of our own minds enough. And I think for men who operate so hard on logic over emotion, not that men don't have emotion. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, operating so much on logic, it doesn't make sense. Like, why would God, allow this in my life? Why would this pain be here? Why won't God take it away if he can? And those are the big questions. But like, who is God when the most horrific thing happens in our life? And that is wild to think about because God is still there and he still loves us. And it's not about us really at the end of the day. It's about him. And what do we do in those moments? And I know for me, too often, I've done what Job's friends have done while trying to help other people. I've done what Job has done at moments. Job was kind of just like, I'm done. Like, I want to throw in the towel. And I've been there way too many times and it's convicting. I don't want to be that way, right? I want to approach it and think about who is God, even when that
Yeah,
crap happens, you know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's definitely. I mean, I can't really speak. I've never had nothing like that really happen in my life, so I can't speak on his behalf on how he was feeling. But I do get the whole I mean, like he said countless times, it's just been better if I wouldn't have been born type thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody. It's not some crazy thing for somebody to say though. I mean, a lot of people say that around here. So if people hear me saying this, don't act like they want to be gone or anything. But like everybody's had that moment,
For
and
sure.
then there was always, whether it was a day or a month or however, after that emotions fled, like there's a light at the end of that tunnel, just like the same at the end of Job, where he got, I mean, how much extra did he get added to him?
It was like
Everything he's had.
it was like double. So he got new children, greater wealth than he ever had before, healing. I mean, he got, and that doesn't, and here's the other trick with Job. It doesn't mean we're all going to get that though, either. Like we may
No,
be
no,
right, but he did, and he was faithful in the end. He's just so relatable, honestly, because, and I've never had the level of things I've had loss. I've had hard things happen. We've all had death happen in our lives. We've had struggles or like just not understanding why we're not getting the job we want, which is way more minor than losing everything you own and your kids
no,
and everything. But like when these things happen, I just think it's so easy to forget who God is when the bad things happen. And I love that line because it made me just think like, man, no matter what, you look at these Christians being slaughtered in,
yeah,
North Korea, China, like go around the world. They're being killed for their faith, murdered, and yet they're showing up and worshiping still, even when they know they could die for doing it. It's like if those people can do that, I can handle being uncomfortable or upset about something, right? Like that is happening right now to people around the
yeah.
world.
And that's all they've known though. We've been raised so soft.
Oh yeah.
Been
Especially
raised
you.
so there's a lot of people want to take pride and say, "Oh, I haven't been
No.
raised soft or sheltered," but like you said, look at them. That's all they know. That is their life.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, we complain at the little things, and they're
Dude.
happy. And a lot of it, I will say, like it's hard to think whether how strong of a Christian you are or not. It is hard to think that yeah, I will gladly die for you know my savior. It's kind of it's a like I will gladly do it, but there's also the human side of me that like I know it's a scary thing
Yeah.
to face if that happens. But I guarantee a lot of them, just because of the way they were raised, are so strong and bold, and they're I feel like they will gladly just
Yeah.
walk up to it and welcome it.
No, I mean, obviously we are raised so soft, and I have had, I've complained about things. You've heard me complain things about you as a friend, and it's like the things we complain about. It's not that they don't matter, because I have a pastor who I love, and he said to me, I was saying to him, like, I shouldn't be complaining about these things because these other people have it so much worse. And I brought up like the people I just brought up, and he said, that's true. But he was like, it is important to remember that your reality is still your reality. Like the things that bother you still matter, even if they're not as bad as somebody being persecuted and killed somewhere else. And that is an important balance. But the point is, we are so soft. Like we have an inability to put things in perspective, right? And also the other part of this, like these friends were trash friends. I mean, in a lot of ways, like Job, it's like Job, this was his inner circle, I imagine, of like best friends, the people they came and sat with him in silence for days, right? And so they clearly loved him and he mattered to them, but they had it wrong. And it just
Yeah.
made me think, like, how many times have I had it wrong with other friends, or have I not shown up? Because honestly, the older I get, the more I realize the importance of friends and like getting it right with other people. And so this was convicting to me and being like, am I being the kind of friend? And I've said this to you, like I've spent the last year really rethinking friendships and like who is going to be there for the long haul. And I want to be surrounded by people who don't tell me that I'm a piece of trash when I'm struggling the way that Job was, right?
Well, in their defense, the only thing I'll say in their defense is they were in the same like in the same position as Job, which I feel like they never had an encounter,
Mm,
so they wouldn't know. Like they thought this is how we've been taught, this is what we were taught, and this is why this is why I believe you are being punished. It's just the line of how they were all, raised and taught by their parents or whoever. And so that's just the way they approached it. Yeah, I don't blame them for it or say that they're a terrible person because of it, but they are definitely obviously they were in the wrong. They didn't know.
yeah.
But
Well,
that's
so, okay, this is interesting. I want to read this. I think it's Job 4. I just pulled it up, 12 to 21. Eliphaz, one of his friends, I agree with everything you just said, but there's this part, and you and I talked about this the other day, where Eliphaz receives this vision from a
yeah.
mysterious spirit or angel. And, they're giving messages from this. They assume it's coming from God. It could very well be coming from a demon. They don't even know where these messages are coming from. And yet they're sort of delivering messages to Job based on that. That was wild to me because I thought, man, if these people really don't know anything they're dealing with in the spirit realm, and again, that's convicting to us. Can we be misled by messages and things that we think and feel, or, by spirits that we think are something they're not? So that's an interesting part of this too, to give them a little more grace. Like maybe they didn't have that discernment yet. They didn't know what they were dealing with, but that part of the story is crazy to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it was definitely and that Bible recap went over that. Like that was
Yeah.
definitely not a good spirit.
Yeah. It didn't,
Um
I mean, it was wrong because it tells us at the beginning of the book that Job was upright, right? So like all these
yeah.
things about Job not being good, the messages that the friends are giving are not lining up with what God says about Job,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is that like well, no, let me go back to the friend thing because I think the friend thing is important. And this is for all of us. Like, are we being the type of friends that we need to be? Like, I walked away really thinking about that. I'm like, man, what does it mean? Like, being a friend is a big responsibility in a lot of ways. And like, are we doing that? And so I'm like, I don't know. It got me thinking, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, they could have took a different approach instead of just instantly blaming, and could have just prayed with them and asked, like, been like, "Hey, why is this happening?" Instead of just going right up and accusing them.
Yeah. I
You know,
mean, I
that's
think,
how we could be.
yeah,
That's a way to show us not to be right there.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like, that's what I love. Here's what I love about the Bible and what I love about getting to do this show too. And by the way, for those who are watching, listening, we're gonna be having guests on. So like we're gonna be mixing in these kinds of conversations and guests, and we're gonna have some really good guests on, which I'm excited about. But as we sort of look at this, like even when things are chaotic, and this is something that I've struggled with in my life, when life feels super chaotic and oppressive and difficult, God is still sovereign. Like God is still there and he's in control. And we can trust in him even when it feels like everything's falling apart. And
Yeah.
that's something I have to remind myself of a lot, because it can be like, well, you could start to worry, like, what am I going to do? Especially for, I think as a man, for me, thinking through responsibilities, things that I have to do, things I'm failing at, right? Like
Right.
you start to panic instead of trust. And I want to recapture that trust, better in my life this year.
Yeah. It's definitely hard. Um, and when you're going through a trial and just being like, I'm going to trust you, God, it's definitely a hard thing to do because you're so just soaked up in emotion and whatever you're facing at that moment, you just really feel like you're smothered and you don't know if there's anything at the other end of it that's good or or that even that it's going to go your way.
Mm,
It's definitely tough,
it
but
is.
I do it. I do it, even though it is tough. It sometimes honestly like it feels like it's a chore to trust.
Yeah.
Um, in a like not saying it in a bad way, but it's like because I'm one that like I understand things don't happen like that, but I'm one to like wish it would. I do wish things would hurry up and just be. I wish things would be just black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I was able to know most things just like right then and there. If it's going to be good for me, or if it's not going to be good for me, but you don't learn nothing that way.
Yeah. Well, we've talked a lot about this privately, like, and so, we've talked about, like, I woke up one day, and this doesn't happen to me often, and I had a verse on my mind, and I'm actually wearing the band right now. I bought one of these like wristbands. I gave you one too. Because it was like pray without ceasing, First Thessalonians 5:16-18. And I like woke up and it was like the verse woke me up almost. And that never happens
Mhm.
to me. And it was convicting because I was like, do I pray without ceasing? Like I get up every morning and do these prayer walks. But I don't pray throughout the day without ceasing. Like I always have to have things like packaged together. Like, oh, I pray in the morning and then I do this and I do that. And it was really convicting to me. It's like I'm really good about praying about the small things though. Like, and I'm really bad about praying without ceasing, but praying without ceasing means like praying and relying and trusting. And that's what like sparked this for me in every single thing. I don't know if you want to reflect on that at all, but you came to mind and another friend came to mind, and I reached out to both of you and I was like, hey, here's this verse. I don't know, do what you want with it, but it woke me up and I thought about it today. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, the praying without ceasing thing is not really as far as praying immediately when you feel like you need to pray. That's how I roll. But you're telling me to pray about the little things has been a problem for me. When things that I don't think about or things that I'm not worried about, I don't really think about praying. But the praying without ceasing thing, like I'll be coming out of the bathroom from peeing, I'll just be like, I'll get it in my mind, get down on your knees and pray, and I'm like, "Huh, okay. Like I'll be getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, then I'll get the whole urge to be like, get down on your knees and pray, and I immediately do it, half asleep or whatever. But
Yeah.
uh, that's how I do, and I'll be mid conversation with people, and then say that I have to walk off, and then I just get those.
You get
It's like
prompts.
a
Like
phone alarm. It's like a phone alarm going off in my head to do it.
see, that's where I struggle. I don't have that, but I have the praying for the small things. You don't have the praying for the small thing. And I think ideally we have all of it, right? And that's what I'm trying to capture. I had a friend who reached out to me and she said, because she saw I was doing these prayer walks, I've been posting about them in the morning and they've been amazing. And I'll talk about them a lot and people get tired of hearing it, but it's been amazing. And you've heard a lot about it. And she said to me, Billy, the goal should be to do these prayer walks every morning, but that prayer walk, like that conversation, just like what you just described, is happening throughout the day for you. That's praying
Mhm.
without ceasing. And so like I'm all about praying about the small stuff that I probably like over pray. And I used to think like God doesn't want to hear about all these little things that don't
Yeah,
really
I'm like
matter,
that.
right? But he does. He does want to hear those things. So, I think it was just a challenge to both of us, and this is why good friends are good, to like, okay, you got to do both of those things, right? I don't know. I don't know if you've made progress. I have not made as good of progress on it as I want on my end. I don't know if you have on yours, but
Mine's just my like lack of um interest in the things that like you've told me I need to pray for. Like
yeah.
it's like this thing is not making me lose sleep at night, so, like, I don't feel like I should pray for it.
Yeah.
It's one little thing that is not hindering anything in my life. Like, the whole like, going back to the acting thing, I could care less if it skyrockets or if it does nothing. It'd be cool to do something, then again, if I don't, it's like, it
Yeah.
is what it is, so I don't pray about it, and I forget because it's not such a major thing
And then I
on my
come in and I'm
mind
like, you
now.
should pray about it. You should pray about it still. But I get your
Yeah.
perspective on it though, too, because if something isn't on my mind, I'm less likely to
Yeah,
think.
mine's really just the fact of, like, I forget, like, there's a lot of things I do, a lot of people I talk to during the day, and you know me, as soon as I hit the daggone bed, I'm
You're done.
asleep.
You're
Yeah,
done.
I'm gone,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
I fall
yeah.
asleep I fall asleep before I have a chance to open my mouth and pray before I go to bed.
I fall asleep. I struggle to pray at night, and I think a lot of people relate to this because I will fall asleep mid prayer. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna get like 2 sentences in, and I'm out. I mean,
yeah,
but I do think that like finding an equilibrium, like a balance on those things is good. And you look at, and just kind of going back to what you're saying before, the thing with Job that is wild is that at the end of this story, he gets everything back, right? But he never gets a clear explanation
no.
of why he suffered. Like there's not really a clear, like we don't end that book. I don't know what you think,
Well,
but
it's because God told him off. He's like, "Listen, son, do you know who I am? All right, shut up." That's what
yeah.
he's saying. That's what he said, and Joe's like, all right,
And
you're
we don't
right.
need to know
I don't have
always
to."
how we
And
suffer.
Joe, yeah, and Job's like, I don't need to ask anything else. I don't need to know. Obviously,
Yeah.
you know, and I don't need to know. But
Yeah.
yeah, God had to put him back in his place. So
We got to get Frank Turek on here to talk about this suffering thing because I do think like not getting a reason why we have to be okay with that because we have to. This goes back to it all goes back to trust, right?
mhm.
Like Job had to trust that for whatever reason that happened, and we may never. There are things that have happened in my life where I'm like that makes no sense, and I can't figure it out. There are also things where I'm like, oh wow, that sucked in the moment, but I totally get why now. Like sometimes God does show us, right? But
Yeah,
either way, our trust shouldn't be shaken by whether we know why he allowed something or did.
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
And yeah, I think it's just for the fact of we talked about something earlier. A lot of people just want closure is such a big deal.
yeah,
You feel like you'll have all the pieces together if you have closure. But then again, like God knows everything. I mean, everything is happening past, present, future in his eyes all at the same time. So like he's in that case, he knows exactly what's good for you and what's not, and it's not. In some cases, it's just best for us not to know. Like I always say, the less you know, the better.
this is something we've argued about actually.
Yeah,
Interesting. The less you know, the better.
yeah.
Because, and I think it's actually a great philosophy. It's a good philosophy. I think it just depends, right? Like but I think when it comes to this, sometimes the less you know, you just have to be comfortable with it. Like, if God doesn't want
The
to
less
tell
you
me,
know the reasons why God does what He does. I mean, we can't understand. I mean, Kent Hovind says it best too. Like, if you can understand God, the all powerful God, in your 3 pound brain, He's not worth worshiping. So,
mm, I mean, and we're not, there's going to be things that when we get to heaven that we're going to ask so many questions, we're going to understand things, we're going to be able, it'll be clear to us. And I think this is what faith is though. Like this is what trust is. It's putting it all in God. And I know for like an atheist or a secularist that feels crazy, like, well, why would you trust? It's like, well, what other option do you really have? Like the creator of the universe made us and loves us and gave us life, and
mhm.
at the end of the day, I'm okay not knowing the answer to some things because I know that I can rest in him. Has that been hard? 2025 was the hardest year I ever had, hands down, in my life. And also the best year in a lot of ways. And I walked away from it being like, you know what? I don't know why some of that stuff happened. I don't know why I behaved the way I did. I don't know why all of it went down the way it did, but I know that I can trust God. And I came into this year feeling very much like no matter what, I have a peace that I'd never really had before. And so you just have to come to peace with that. And I think Job did in the end.
Yeah, I think He did too.
So,
Yeah,
okay. So the other thing is integrity because it feels like he did not cuss these guys out. I mean, he definitely pushed back, but like he really seemed to have incredible integrity. And when I think about integrity for men, especially now, like there's porn addiction, there's like all these things that people struggle with silently. A lot of us talk about integrity, but it's really, and I mean, there's like an old slogan, like integrity is how you behave when nobody's watching it, but it's true. It's like, and this is a question for all of us, do we have good integrity? Like, and that's convicting, I think, in a lot of ways, because we all struggle with different things.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't have much to say on that
No, I
because
mean, yeah,
he hit it right on the head.
I mean, so it's just a question, I think, and we'll unpack it more, I think, with guests as we go. Like integrity is something, it's not like you can't struggle with sin. Everybody struggles with sin. I think the question is, when you ask, do you have good integrity? It forces us to look at what we're doing and saying and how we're behaving, not just behind closed doors, but with our friends, with other people. Am I the same person?
If you're like integrity as like if you're aware of this, if you're aware, like in Job's case, like if you're in that conversation and you very well easily could sin and snap and cuss him out, kill him, fight him, whatever he could have done back then. But his integrity was like, I'm aware of the sin that this conversation could lead me into, but I know I gotta be stronger than that and rein myself back and just listen. You can argue, listen, and not just let an emotion, um, don't let your emotions act out because that's what leads to all the
Yeah,
crap that happens nowadays.
100%. And like, there's that, and there's that part of integrity. Then there's also like, am I the same person? And this is challenging for a lot of people. Am I the same person on this podcast, you and I right now? Are we the same people on this podcast that we are off of this podcast?
I am.
You are. Are you saying I'm not? No, I mean, but this is like, you are the same person on and off. Like, I think though too, like, am I the same person with different groups of friends that I am? Like, and I
Yeah.
think that is challenging for all of us because it's a thing. Integrity.
I struggle with that. There's some people like it's not that I don't love them, but when they overwhelm me, man, I don't treat them different in a bad way, but I'm just not real open to them like I am with almost everybody else. Like if I get overwhelmed by somebody that just wants to be down your throat all the time, I'm like, I give them some more, uh, like hesitation for me to speak to them.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't treat them poorly. I don't do nothing bad to them, but I don't know if that's necessarily. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. People, if you hear this, let me know. But it's something
you're just
it's what I
angry.
struggle with. It's
Yeah,
something I struggle with. Like people just people are annoying.
people. We're all
I'm
in.
one of them. I'm annoying to some folks, and like that's fine. Everybody's got their annoying thing, but if it's someone that I like, but they're annoying, I just still man, I have trouble. I have trouble just having a conversation with them because I'm just. I guess it's a pride thing, a small piece of pride that I have.
Yeah. Oh,
Thinking it almost think it almost comes off as I'm too good to talk to you, but that's not the case. It's like you just annoy the fire out of me.
yeah.
I just don't want to speak to you.
Well, it's like it's how we treat people with consistency, and the Bible says a lot about that in James, I think too. And we're going to do a whole thing on James, by the way, because you and I have already done a Bible study, but we're going to like go through James and just because there's so much in those chapters. I think like even the way we talk, like, am I all right? Like, I think for guys, it's a big thing. Am I like cursing and talking one way over here, and then I'm in church and I'm over here this way? Am I
No,
telling dirty jokes over here and then I'm being whatever over here? And I think everybody struggles with this to different degrees because
yeah,
we're supposed to be consistent, and that's an integrity issue, and we all struggle with it in different ways. So I think, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about some of this. Like, are we all 100% consistent in all of our relationships? No, I mean, we're not. And but I think part of like the more we grow in our faith, that consistency should grow more, I think, right? And
no,
so
yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense. Does
it
that make
does.
sense?
Yeah, because I told you this might have been over a month ago, close to 2 months ago now, that I had a moment like there was a time where like I didn't hop in the Bible for, was it a couple weeks maybe?
Yeah.
Can't remember. It was something like that. And we got to talking again and got back in it. And I told you, I was like, yeah, my speech is kind of,
Shifted.
yeah, cussing with the boys.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cussing. And then obviously some kind of inappropriate jokes and stuff. And then, this past 2-ish, 3 weeks now, I have been really on track and like not had any crazy, um, like thoughts of anything bad, like no lust thoughts, no, um, just nothing vulgar, nothing real secular has been going through my mind the more I get into it. And,
Yeah.
so,
And that's the
yeah,
thing, right? Like that's the whole point, even with this show, like why we're doing it too. It's like we want to have these conversations. The more we're in the truth, the less we're gonna struggle with those things. The more we're in those things,
yeah,
and it's hard. Life is hard. With like I'm the first one to say, like at 6 a.m. I'm doing my Bible walk, and at 9 a.m. I'm annoyed by something, and I'm already ready to So that's why and this is where like the praying without ceasing, understanding suffering, all these things, the trust, like it's so important. It all matters, and yeah, I love that you shared that. I wasn't gonna blow up your spot on that, but like it's true. I remember you said to me a few weeks, but you're like, yeah, like I just haven't been feeling it. I haven't been in it, and my language has shifted. I see it in myself, and I think here's the
yeah,
thing, and before we close here, like, and then I'll let you have the final word, but like when we see that in ourselves, we need to call ourselves out. But I think more important than that, even, or just as important in that, if you're seeing it in somebody who you're super close with, the honesty to be like, to call it out in a loving way and be like, hey, I'm noticing this. What's going on? Like, how can I help you? How can I pray for you? How can
yeah,
I, like, do we need to do a Bible study? What is it? So that we can encourage one another to not, this is for everybody listening too, to not fall into that, because it's so easy to fall off that cliff. It really is.
yeah, yeah. I totally agree. I'm glad. It's just like it's like a tug of war. It feels like if you're not in, I know if I'm not in it for like at least a day or two, that immediately there's like a pull to the
Yeah.
the dark side.
Yeah. I mean, and you're one of the most consistent people I've ever met on your faith, which I think is interesting, like, and especially, there's people who are 70 years old, 60 years old, who are not as consistent as you are. And so, it's so easy. It's so easy to get sucked into it and pulled into it. And, one thing I would encourage people to, like, we want to know what you want to hear about. So like comment on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, comment on wherever you're watching on. If you're seeing this on social, comment and let us know, like, what topics do you want us to hit, because we want to hit things that
Yeah,
matter to you. Are there questions you have? Are there people you want us to have on? Like, we want to hear all of that. Any
yeah. And I want to reiterate that this podcast, I watch a lot, or not watch a lot. I see a lot of Christian podcasters, and a lot of them are amazing. But I'm not gonna act like I am a Bible scholar,
Me either.
and I'm not gonna act like Jesus is some soft, lovey-dovey teddy bear savior. Which he has moments where he's a very kind, gentle person, but he's also very powerful God, and a lot of people don't hit that, and that kind of bothers me. So,
We're gonna do it.
um, we're gonna do that, and yeah, and even if I make a remark, which I guarantee I'll make a remark that's not great,
Oh, I
and
guarantee. I can guarantee that too. Yeah.
I'll make a remark like scripturally that is probably really wrong, but not that because I'm not a Bible scholar. So if that's here, don't condemn me, confront me, and let me know.
I love it. Yeah, same for me. And
Yeah,
and that's that. The whole point of this is to have real conversations. We're not looking to have a
yeah,
fake conversation. We have these so we are really good friends. We have these conversations pretty much every day. We talk about faith. Well, yeah, maybe we're okay friends, and we have these conversations every day
yeah,
about faith and about life, and like we want to have that with everybody
yeah,
and bring people into it. So I'm still super excited about this. I'm looking forward to having guests on. Any final
yeah.
thoughts? Final thoughts before we go?
No, I'm excited for it to. I hope it reaches people in there, not people that are just also like already on their walk with Jesus, which is it's great if this does reach them and encourages them more, but people that like are on the fence in general, whether they're just a completely atheist just from the jump that don't want to believe and maybe something will spark their interest, or if it's someone that doesn't know at all and is not against it. I hope it just will reach them, and keep them looped in and just listen to these, because these are raw, like you said, raw conversations. We're not acting like we're better than one another or better than anybody. I mean, there's a lot of things we'll probably get wrong on here, but that's the
Yeah.
part of being vulnerable and for having guests on that are more intelligent than us to teach us a thing or two. So
I love it. And if you're, watching, wherever you're watching or listening, subscribe on our YouTube. We've got, Instagram account. We'll have more platforms as we go, but make sure you're following us on all those places. We're on Apple, Spotify, all the places you hear podcasts. So make sure you're following us there. Share the show, share the clips you see, get it out there.